A Sapphire Running Zone podcast.
Hi, this is Tim from the Sapphire Running Zone, and this is another in our Runner Stories podcast series. And today I'm with John, who has just run the London Marathon for Scoliosis Support and Research. So welcome, John, and tell us why you chose this charity to run for.
I chose this charity. It's close to my heart. Obviously with my daughter, obviously diagnosed with scoliosis just after the age of, before her first birthday. She was obviously in several casts and then into obviously removable casts, and then went on to obviously have continuous spinal surgery, and also had to have muscle released from her neck as well just before Christmas. And so she was obviously having treatment and physio to retrain the brain to obviously straighten her neck up, and then obviously we're under the Birmingham Children's and Orthopaedics for obviously her ongoing medical issues. So that's basically what I wanted to do, to make her proud of me, like she makes us proud as parents. And obviously for her little brother's obviously proud of her as well. So we've just done it for that really, and for other people who find it out obviously later in life as well.
How many times has she been in and out of hospital?
And I'd say this will probably be her fifth time now. But obviously she has several times when she has to go back just for obviously checkup. She's due another lengthening this Friday coming up. So hopefully it should just be a straightforward lengthen and out. But obviously the last time she was in hospital for just over a week. So it was obviously going in to see her, my wife staying, and then obviously juggling home life, making sure my little lad was looked after as well.
She was diagnosed very young, wasn't she?
Yeah. We kind of spotted something once when just on her back. I think when she was in the bath, just something didn't look quite right. And then we obviously just followed it up from there, really. But like I say, we don't treat her any different to anybody else. To us, she's not, just a normal child. She tends to, we don't wrap her up in cotton wool. Obviously we follow what the surgeons and doctors say, but they just say, let her carry on and do what she wants to do. Just keep an eye on it.
Well, hopefully one day she'll be able to emulate what you did.
Yeah.
In London, won't she? What made you want to run a marathon then? Because this was your first distance, wasn't it?
I kind of obviously wanted to do it for obviously the charity, get myself a little bit healthier, because I'd obviously, as you do, put on weight. Obviously more trade, being a chef and everything, you're always tasting stuff and eating at the wrong times, and moment on the lips, lifetime on the hip sort of thing. So yeah, just kind of wanted to do it for those sort of reasons, and just wanted to have a goal, something to achieve. And I thought, well, why not just do the biggest one you can do instead of starting off with a sort of 5K sort of thing. Just hit it hard, go straight into it.
Tell us the highs and lows of your training.
Well, everyone around me was the highs. I informed everyone at work, and we started up a bit of a running club every Monday. So I used to finish work sort of about 5:00, and we'd head over to a local park where I live, and we'd do about an hour and a half. We were obviously out in the dark. I didn't really start doing it till October, so I was quite behind with everything, just with general busy life schedules and stuff. But they all kept turning up, meeting me there, assistant in it, checking in with us, and then people started to obviously whittle down a bit because they've got their own commitments. So then I started running with one of the lads, Alex, who works out the front, basically one of the waiters. I was like, I'm happy to do it with you every Monday. So we just started up a partnership, and I kept saying to her, look, we need to increase it, week by week, couple of miles or whatever. And then I had commitments, and I went down to a gym just round the corner from me, someone who used to work with a hotel, and I said, look, can you get us some sort of free membership, basically? So I started doing a bit of leg work down there and on the treadmills and stuff like that. And that was where I pretty much put in 3.5 hours. I did like 16 miles just on the treadmill solid, just kept going in and shift off it. Obviously, it's different to outside running, but I was determined to get to that point because obviously my wife was concerned with me not running, as you do. Oh, how far are you going to get round? Are you going to get round? Are you going to be in an ambulance? And I was like, my mindset pretty much with life anyway is, if you can't control it, don't worry about it. If you can, sort of. And I just constantly just kept going. And then on certain evenings in the winter, I was just running around my where I live, because it's quite hilly and there's an incline, declines. I just put in an hour and a half to 2 hours.
How much of your training do you think was on the treadmill, and how much was outside?
Well, I'd
Was it like
say I was, yeah, 50. I mean, might have been slightly a bit more on the treadmill in the gym, but just where I was told, yeah, I can get to train with you on the Monday, and then I get a message saying, unfortunately, I can't do it round by me. So I felt more comfortable just doing it. Obviously, back home, obviously supporting where I could in between the time I got to obviously do some running round by me, and also help with the childcare sort of thing, really. But yeah, I just did a bit of both because obviously I knew it was going to be a tough thing. There was just no way I was not going to not do it.
what was the longest run that you did?
The longest one I did was that one when I did that 16 mile in the gym. That's the longest one I did. And that was just over about 3.5 hours I did that in.
So you were running what, 3 times a week?
No, I was only doing a couple of weeks. I was doing a Monday and a Wednesday.
What was it like on race week then? When did you go to London, and when did you go to the expo?
So I couldn't. We'd had a bit of a manic week before. We were already in London near Windsor. We'd obviously got away with the kids, so done obviously a bit of running around there. We came back and we went down on the Saturday morning. So I drove down Saturday. Took us about 4 hours in the end. Ended up doing the whole tour of London through Oxford Street. Had the other side. It was a nice experience. Went and picked all my stuff up on Saturday afternoon. Had a good look round, got some bits and pieces, some gels they were giving out, and treated myself to a bit of memorabilia with a date on and stuff. So I got something to, remind me of it all. Found my name on the massive wall that's up forever. But yeah, it was just manic that day, which I knew it would be when I was expecting previously. I was like, it's not the ideal day to go, but there was no other way of me doing it to get there. So there was a guy with a massive foam finger saying, go further down, there's no queue. So I just did what he said, got down to the front, and I was about 4 people in front of me. So, well, I
Okay.
mean, there's a lot of, obviously, there's plenty of spaces for people to go to, but everyone just queues where they see a queue. And I was like, I'm just getting down there where he's told me to go and get my stuff, have a nice look round, have a quick bite to eat, bit of rest time, and then made our way on to where we were stopping before the next day.
Right. So you did everything that you needed to. You had your meal at a reasonable time,
Yeah,
got to bed.
a reasonable time meal, not the kind of meal I was looking forward to, but although strict instructions from both my wife and my brother, it was like, no, you'll have to have that. You can't have this, you can't have that. And there's chocolate brownie on the menu, it's one of my favourites. And I was like, no, I'll have a cup of coffee. That'll do me, and I'll have one when I finished. I didn't want anything to kind of affect anything while they're tucking into their sort of puddings. So I was a bit jealous about that, but early enough, a good night's sleep, up in plenty of time, and had good bit of breakfast.
Right. And what time did you go to the start then? And what time was your wave start?
My won't start. Was I had to be there by 10:13. I like to get in the field, but 11:25, 11:30.
What did you feel like when you were at the start?
It's just the adrenaline rush. I think everyone's sort of, wishing everyone luck. The music's going, you got people cheering you on, and it's just sort of hits you then, like you're there, you're literally going up a bit, and there's the start time, obviously going, and the time you're leaving to go to start it, and you're like, this is it now. It's running all the way as much as you can, sort of thing, and just what to expect when you go past the line is, you see it on the telly when I was younger and stuff, and it's obviously going to be totally different when you're there in person.
Yeah. And what about the first half of the course? Say up to Tower Bridge. What do you remember about that?
It's good, like so. When I started up to that, it was quite a steady pace up. Everyone's quite upbeat about it. Just taking in trying to like picture things, video things as much as you can, but trying to like focus on what you're there to do, sort of thing. Obviously got me little bum bag with all my little goodies in, trying to get a jelly baby out of it, but only probably got an arm out of the jelly baby. The rest of it's still stuck with the other one. Or like chain mail jellies all stuck together, so I'll just give in to that, and wherever there was a bit of water, have a bit of that and just keep going, sort of thing. I knew I got some gels on me as well, so but I didn't want to have too much of that because I have had them free before, and I was like, they can get it's quite on your tongue and your mouth, it dries it out. So I was like, just gotta loosen it down with some water on the way around.
When did you start taking gels?
I got some, obviously, when I spoke on the chat with everyone else, and they were talking about them all. So I bought some before doing the marathon just to trial them out. And like, I got on all right with them. There was no major issues. It was just obviously some of them, because they're so condensed to me, they're like when you buy those squirty fruit juices to have in your cordial, it's quite a lot to take in, and with the heat and you're running and stuff like that, still need something to sort of swill it down a bit. So I didn't want to have too much of that. So I kind of gauged myself when I was going to have it. So I knew I'd, and then obviously where there was going to be a water station sort of thing. So I knew then I've got a bit of more hydration if I needed it.
So how many did you take?
I just had the one that was in my pouch, and then when I started giving the ones out with the Lucasade like sort of stands, there was people just giving them out there. So I kept taking them off them, so I thought I could use them for future.
So when you went over Tower Bridge and you started heading out towards Docklands, how did you feel when you started seeing everyone coming towards you?
Yeah, it's just, I suppose it's a bit of a, you still got a fair whack to go sort of thing. So it can be, I suppose, a little bit disheartening, but you just think, you just got to just keep going. Everyone's there to push you through it. You just think you're going to be just going down a bit, and you'll be straight back up. Yeah, I was also, the mentality I've got is just, I was enjoying it, so I didn't find it not an enjoyable experience.
Do you have many friends and family watching? Did you know exactly where they were going to be?
Yeah, I knew obviously the points. Also read the email, where obviously it was on the one side and then switch over to the other. So like my brother and my wife were there pretty much through the whole thing, and then met me at the end. My boss was at the finishing line waiting for us with some friends and a daughter. And then obviously they'd met up with Will. They saw Will and everything. And then obviously other families or parents that were waiting for their relatives to come round as well, sort of thing. So there was quite a few of them stood together talking. I found out at the end, and obviously they got chatting about things. So yeah, but I just kept going. I didn't want obviously to stop and talk. I just give the wave and kept myself going, because I saw a lot of people doing that, and I was like, it's not ideal. You put your adding time to your time, and you got to get yourself going again.
What do you remember about the last few miles?
I just remember this, just remember a gentleman sort of shouting, "You've only got 1.2 to go, you're nearly there, just round the corner, just round the corner." And just everyone chanting you on, locals, people taking time out of the day or travelled down there. Just, when you're on going, you've got this shouting your name out, and, saying that, you'll get there. You've got the bacon, all these cockneys shouting to you and stuff like that. You'll be there. And I was like, I just need to just keep pushing through. I just need to look out for the palace and the mall and the flags. And then before you know it, I had someone saying, "Once you've seen the flags, it's just round the corner." And I was like, I've got to run through that finishing line, or sort of jog, or even if I had to crawl through it.
And what was it like going over that finish line? How did you feel?
Oh, just a lot of emotions really. So I had a bit going around all of it. You're there, and I've got I've got my daughter's sort of face, and my feet are cracking a bit, and I'm bending my toes and still running, and I'm like, but that pain's nothing to probably what she deals with every time she has to be operated on. So you just got to just push through it. But it was just all that. I was like, wow, amazing how I managed to do all of that. But obviously not doing as much training as I should have. I'm just achieving something really, really big, and being obviously finding out afterwards part of being in a world record of the amount of people who's done it.
Talk us through your fundraising then, John. When did you start, and how did you raise over £3,000, which was incredible?
Yeah, pretty much set up the giving page, set it all up with Poppy's name on, and sort of did like a shape of not a perfect spine with Poppy's going up it and a name. And I just started obviously sharing the link everywhere on Insta, with friends and family, obviously WhatsApp, Facebook, all that sort of thing. Then I went into work. Obviously, they knew all about it all. And now, can we put a bucket on the front with your daughter and your wife and you, and a little bit about it all? Any spare change that staff want to put in. They said there'll be a bucket at the front, and I'll be going around asking them to put it in, and then we'll start cashing it up. So he kind of set a funded thing up that way, and there's like on people's backs every week. Don't forget to put in. Don't forget to put in what you can. Any bit of change or whatever you want. Whatever I had, I just put my notes in. The lot just went straight in. Family had put a lot in, and then obviously I just tried to reach out to a lot of places. That would never probably happen. I was trying football stadiums, Sony Music, Capital FM. I was trying anything, just putting in what I'd basically what I was doing it for and the reasons why. At one point, I even tried Sandringham Palace. I emailed them to see if they could charity anything. I said, well, if no, we can't. I said, well, I kept pushing and pushing. I said, well, can you just at least get some acknowledgement from His Majesty that I'm doing the race? Mentioning my daughter. No, they emailed it over, sent it all, and I had a letter come back on the royal paper from royal correspondence, wishing myself all the best and Poppy all the best, and it's been acknowledged by him. And basically, he wishes me all the best, and obviously her with her future surgery she's got to have. Trying everything to try and get charity money and stuff from whatever I could try and do. I was trying to do. I kept it going and just within the family, but made Poppy aware. I sat down with her and said, "Look, your dad's done this. He's gone to the king sort of thing." And she was like, "Wow, it's all on the paper, the envelope. It's something for her to have basically memorabilia she can keep."
So you basically had a. I'm just want to go back and talk a bit more about what you did in the restaurant. So basically,
Yeah.
you some of the staff put their tips in.
Yeah, basically, all the people I work with, obviously, we've got our own like, group chat with everyone within the business, from like owners down to the pot wash, and everyone just put in what they could put in or what they wanted to put in. So yeah, everyone done all that. Local suppliers, people we have, the butcher and veg, everybody really. They've all big suppliers that we use. They've all put in what they can.
How much of what you raised? So you've raised just over 3,000.
Yeah.
How much of that do you think came from work?
So I think it was in like within 3 days, 2 or 3 days with the owner. Well, one of the owners. She said, "Leave it with me." She kept coming down into the kitchen while I was cooking, and she was like, "We've raised over £850 just by me sending things to people I know." And then obviously getting in contact. So I'd say it's sort of could be kind of split down the middle, really, because a lot of friends outside of work um, that I've worked with when obviously we had COVID, had to move into a different type of job. So they put money in themselves from that side. I'd say it's down the middle, really.
So what was the most popular form of social media that you used? Was it Instagram?
Did a bit of Instagram where obviously they linked it to my work page. A lot of other stuff I did obviously Facebook. I just shared it and then tagged a lot of people into it, and then my wife tagged people in, and then her aunties, my mum and dad, my brother. So it was a bit of both really, and then obviously I just sent a lot through. I just got my phone directory, pop the link into everybody that I knew that if they're still there or not, and just sent it through, and then just kept saying, "Don't forget, don't forget." Because some people were, was this actually real or is it scam? Even though you're sending stuff, I don't know. No, it's actually me. I'm actually doing this. Whatever you can put in, put in. So yeah, they all put the same. It's a very worthy cause that doesn't get the acknowledgement and stuff it should do. Obviously.
When did you think that you were going to smash your target? Because your initial target was 2,000, and you've ended up raising over 3. When did you feel confident that you were going to get to 3?
I just I was sort of had a bit of downtime to myself after the marathon, and I kept looking through it, and I was thinking, "Oh my God, look, substantial amount of money people are putting in, and people are some people I didn't even know that have put things on. I'm like talking to friends and family, who's this? And they're like, we ain't got a clue. And it's people have put comments in like, I had it, I have this condition at an early age. I've got children that have got it or whatever. One of my close friends is a chef who helped supply chefs to me. He's got scoliosis, his brother's got it. I've never met the bloke since I'd worked there, and straight away he stuck 100 and something pound in. And he goes, there's more of that. There's more to come. He said, I'll keep topping it up. And then when he saw what if I did just under 3,000 or what, he kept going, I've just put another 40 quid in or another £70 in. I just kept, and I'd only met him once just before Christmas. And he was like, fair play to you, hopefully one day me and you can do one together.
Well, would you say the secret of what you did with your fundraising then was all about persistence?
Yeah, just I'm like that in life anyway. I'm very it's got to be done yesterday sort of thing. So I'm like, I've got to hit that target, and obviously it would be amazing to go even further than that. But obviously I wanted to make sure I was true to myself, and I was hoping I'd be able to reach at least the 2,000 mark. Because you don't want to let down a charity when they've been good enough to give you a place to run.
What's next for John then? What's the next race?
I don't know yet, because my brother, he said as soon as I finish this one, we'll do another one. We'll do one together. So I'm not too sure, because obviously I see all these people doing all these sub-marathon things, and obviously to go to different places. I also want to keep myself fit. So I've obviously, well, not really dropped a dress, so I always drops a few inches around the waist. So I don't know, I mean, there's quite a few. I mean, I'd do it again. I didn't have time to get in to do next year's, just after I took everything in and doing that. But I don't know, whatever, just want another challenge, even if it's the same sort of miles I've done before, or not as long, but I obviously still would run the scoliosis. Because
do you think you'd be able to fundraise again if you did? I mean, say you did London Marathon next year. Do you think you'd still be able to raise that much money, or do you think you've sort of done as much as you can?
I reckon I'll still be able to. I'll put myself to raise at least the same again, but just obviously use other tools of how to obviously raise the money. I know obviously work would back me, but I've inspired. Basically, my boss came to me afterwards and said, You've inspired two people at work, one being a daughter and one being the lad who I trained with, he's quite athletic. They're doing a marathon next year. Can inspire people to take a challenge and do it, and then they're obviously going to do it for their designated charity that's obviously close to them.
I really appreciate you joining us, John, and you did a fantastic job, raised loads of money, did a great job on the day, and good luck with what's coming next, and all the best with Poppy as well.
She don't care if people look at her or whatever. She cracks on. Hopefully I can do something to raise some more, at least probably the same again, for obviously scoliosis in the future. Appreciate your time, and been good talking to you.
Thanks for listening to this Sapphire Running Zone podcast. Keep checking back, as we have lots more podcasts coming soon.